end fire array, the maximum radiation is along the array axis. The maximum radiation is along array axis. Okay, along array axis. Then when it is along the array axis, the theta can be either 0 or phi. You take general formula, that is psi is equal to beta d cos theta plus alpha. When my theta is pi or 0, then what is cos theta? Cos 0 is 1, cos pi is minus 1. Then that means what? Simply that is plus or minus beta d, because cos, you know what is theta. Theta can be either pi or 0, then that is plus or minus beta d. Then alpha. Then you know that whenever you want to have a maximum radiation in particular direction, the direction may be anything, but if at all, if you want to have a maximum radiation, the psi has to be 0. You may have a confusion. Then what is the meaning of maximum? Then you are taking psi always 0. Psi can be something else. When psi is something else, you'll get side lobes. You'll get side lobes. When psi is equal to 0, you'll get the main lobes maximum, maximum of the main lobes. When psi value is something else, you'll get the maximum of the side lobes. Okay, that in detail and all we are not going. Okay, but for maximum radiation, the maximum value of the main lobe, then definitely psi is equal to 0. Then from this, what is clear? My alpha has to be plus or minus beta d. So in the previous case, my alpha is 0, but in this case, my alpha is plus or minus beta d. Then I am not changing the current. Okay, so no change in the current. That means what? Here also I have to use equal current, but phase I have to vary. That means what? Say if I am using current I here I have to use current I with the phase of plus or minus beta d, with the phase of progressive phase shift of alpha. Some phase shift I have to use alpha. What is that phase shift? What is that progressive phase shift? Because if it is a two conductor, then two antennas, then simply that is a phase shift. If I am having n antennas, then it is simply a progressive phase shift. I will tell you later what is n antenna per case. Then this alpha, okay, it is of some phase difference. That phase difference is decided by beta and d, because d means distance between the antennas. Beta, you know, anyway, that is once if you fix the frequency, that will fix the lambda, then beta is fixed. So somehow you are getting some phase shift. So when you want to have a end fire array, you have to introduce the phase difference for the second antenna, but that phase difference is decided by plus or minus beta d. So once if you excite the antenna with the same current and with the phase difference that is decided by this value, definitely the direction of maximum radiation will be either along the theta is equal to 0, or it will be either along the theta is equal to pi. Okay, so that's the idea. The maximum radiation will be along the array axis. The maximum radiation will be along the array axis. That's the idea of the end fire array. Okay, then you just find out what is beam width between the first null, what is half power beam width here. For end fire array, what is the beam width between the first null, what is the half power beam width. But whenever you are writing beam width between the first null and half power beam width, that is clearly not for 2 element array, that is for n element array always. This is for n element array. Okay, because this can be extended to n element array. When you have n element array, then what is the beam width between the first null, then what is the beam width of power beam width. Similarly, for here also I have written some formula. I think where, sir, have I written or not? This is also for n element array only. The beam width between the first null formula is for n element array only. Very quickly I will tell you what is n element array. Now we are discussing about 2 element array, but this formula is for n element array. This is beam width between the first null, then half power beam width is simply half of this one, that is 57.3 degree divided by L by lambda, that's for n element array. Okay, so far we are discussing what is what is 2 element array. Now we'll see what is n element array. We'll see what is n element array. N element array. That means what? Instead of 2 element, I can have any number of element. I can have any number of. I can please mute the mic. I can have any number of element. Once if I have more than one element, n number of element, then what is the electric field here? What is the electric field here? So here also for again my current is like this, because in both the cases current is same. Both the cases current is same. If my alpha is 0 everywhere, if my alpha is 0, generally alpha goes like this. Here I will apply 0, here I will apply alpha, here I will apply 2 alpha, here I will apply 3 alpha. That means what? Whenever I change the phase, here I am giving alpha phase, here 2 alpha, here 3 alpha. That means what? Phase increases progressively. So phase increases progressively. Okay, so phase increases progressively, and again current is same always. But here if I always current is same, always current is always same, I is same always. But if I take alpha is equal to 0, once if I take alpha is equal to 0, everything is 0, all current are same, then this is the condition for broadside array. Okay, if I take some alpha, if current is same, if I take alpha is equal to some value, the value can be anything, that is decided by what? Other factor, beta d. The alpha is decided by what? Plus or minus beta d, because beta d decides alpha. That will give you some angle. Say for example, if it is 10 degree, if alpha is 10 degree, then what is the meaning of this one? This is 10 degree, this is 20 degree, this is 30 degree. Like this you have to excite all your antenna, then only you will get end fire array, For only 2 antenna, simply alpha. Once if you have n antenna, just you have to progressively increase your phase shift, you will get end fire array. Then once if you have end fire array or 2 element array, what is the array factor? By what amount your signal strength is getting increased? That is decided by array factor. Okay, array factor. So next one is array factor. I'm not going to do any derivation. So what it is giving you array factor? By what amount your signal strength is getting increased, because that is the aim of antenna arrays. Antenna arrays used to increase the gain. Okay, so antenna array factor will give you the value by what factor the gain is increased, by what factor gain is increased as compared to single antenna. Gain is increased as compared to single antenna, That is the definition of array factor. That is the definition. So once if I have n element array, my array factor after derivation, it consists of some derivation. The array factor comes sin n psi divided by 2, sin psi divided by 2. What do you mean by psi, sir? Anybody? Psi is equal to what? Always beta d cos theta plus alpha. Okay, because in general I am writing psi is equal to always beta d cos theta plus alpha. Now somebody tell me, what is the maximum value of this one? Sin theta divided by theta is maximum when, sir? What is the maximum value of this function, array factor?
When theta equal to 0, sir.
Yeah, so that means what is the maximum value? By means of L'Hospital rules, n will come outside. So the maximum value of the array factor is 1 by n. Okay, maximum value of array factor is 1 by n. So sometimes they used to mention array factor in a normalized manner. Normalized, whenever they want to draw the radiation pattern alone, they are not worried about what is the gain. They are interested about shape of the waveform, because this will give you the shape of the waveform also. So when they are interested to get only the shape of the waveform, in which direction the radiation is maximum or minimum, in which direction the side lobes is there, like that and all, then they used to normalize this function. Once if they normalize, this is 1 by n and sin n psi by 2 divided by sin psi by 2. This is the normalized array factor. Okay, this is simple array factor. This is the maximum value of the array factor. It is true because when you have one antenna, you are getting some electric field. When you are using n antenna, you will get n times of the electric field. When you use n antenna, you will get n times of the electric field. There is a chance that you will get n times of electric field, but whether really you are getting the electric field or not will be decided by the psi. But the psi will be decided by theta. Okay, theta means what? Phase angle produced by the distance, okay, phase angle, okay, the phase produced by the movement, and this is excitation phase. Okay, so just because if you are having n here means it doesn't mean that you are having n times of the signal, and again your signal strength is finally depends on psi, but psi is depending on what is the distance phase, what is the difference in phase length of the wave traveling, and what is the excitation phase. Okay, what is the excitation phase. Now what will be the, and again forgot one thing, I think before here, yeah, because you do not know what is beam width, then you cannot come to conclusion of directivity. But somebody tell me which one will have more directivity, end fire array or broadside array? For that I will compare here. Okay, I will compare both. Okay, once if you have broadside means if you are having array axis like this, you are getting power here and also here, but this is of 2D only, you have to rotate it. So once if you rotate it, this will be of something like shape, 3D shape, it will form some 3D shape. In which direction you have to rotate? Like this you rotate like this. That is the original broadside array shape, Now my question is, end fire array is giving the radiation in this manner. Again, this is also you have to rotate like this for 3D. Here also it is giving you the radiation, but like this. Here also you have to rotate like this. Then which one will have more directivity, sir? End fire or broadside array? By intuitive analysis you can tell. No, sir. No. Which one? By intuitive analysis you can tell which one will have more directivity, or which one will have more beam width? No idea.
Broadside having I one constant, sir.
நான் சொல்ற மாதிரி கொஞ்சம் இமேஜின் பண்ணுங்க. ஆல்ரெடி 2D ஷேப் இருக்கு. If you rotate like this, I am not rotating like this, I am rotating like this. Circular shape மாதிரி வரும். Something like shape of vadai that is placed vertically. Something similar to that. Okay, so once if you rotate this, okay, you'll get a shape of vadai that is placed vertically. Okay, but here you are rotating here, but in which case your beam width is high? எங்க சார் beam width அதிகமா இருக்கும்? கவரேஜ் வந்து பிராட் சைடுல அதிகமா இருக்குமா, எண்ட் ஃபயர்ல அதிகமா இருக்குமா? கவரேஜ் ஆங்கிள், கவரேஜ் சாலிட் ஆங்கிள் in which caseல அதிகமா இருக்கும்? So the beam width of broadside array is greater than the beam width of end fire array. Please refer. So if you don't understand the practical, okay, intuitively if you are not able to understand, please try to fill up this. Okay, in the book it is available. Already I have written it for broadside array. Then you know which one is having more beam width, which one is having less beam width. Is it okay, sir? If you are not understanding intuitively, you can understand it from the formulas. Okay, I am telling what will happen if you imagine properly in a 3D case, the beam width of broadside array is greater than the beam width of end fire array. Then which one will have more directivity, end fire array or broadside array?
End fire array.
End fire array. So directivity of end fire array is greater than the directivity of broadside array. And the conclusion படி இப்படி தான் இருக்கணும். Then what is the actual directivity? So the directivity of end fire array is equal to, okay, 4L by lambda, and then directivity of broadside array is equal to 2L by lambda. Finally, directivity of end fire array is equal to 2 times of the directivity of broadside array. Very, very important. Exam la adhigama vandirukku. Simply they will ask, you will study lot of things, finally they will ask directivity simply. 2L by lambda or 4L by lambda. Without confusion, please remember properly, or you have intuitive idea which you will have more directivity, broadside array or end fire array. In general, the end fire array will have more directivity because it is radiating in lesser direction. That's why it is having more directivity. Okay, broadside array is radiating in more direction, so it is having less directivity. That is the idea to remember. Okay, so and again, what is, and again we will discuss some other method, binomial and Chebyshev method and all. Then what is the problem with this method, both end fire and broadside array? So disadvantage of this method, limitation. What is the limitation of broadside array or end fire array? Okay, so in any case, in both broadside array or end fire array, what is present? Side lobe is present. What is present? Side lobe present. Okay, you know, once if side lobe present, some power is spent on the side lobes, because power, you have to spend your power on the main lobe. But once if side lobe present, some portion of the power spent on the side lobe, some portion of power concentrated on side lobes. Okay, concentrated on side lobes. Again, that is considered as a noise only, because you want your power to go in a particular direction, but that power is going in some other direction, then that particular power is called as a noise. Okay, you can consider as a noise. So how to eliminate the side lobes? That's our next aim. Our next move is how to eliminate side lobes. How to eliminate side lobes? That's our next question. How to eliminate side lobes? Then the method, easiest method to eliminate the side lobe is what, sir? Anybody? Binomial array. How to eliminate the side lobes? To eliminate the side lobe, you have to use binomial array concept. You have to use the binomial array concept. Okay, so next one is binomial array. Binomial array. So binomial array, you have to use the binomial theorem. For binomial theorem, if you have one conductor, that is 1. If you have two conductor, 1 1. If you have 3, 1 1 plus 1 is 2, and side is 1. And again you can extend like this up to any number. 3 here is 1. So only if you have one antenna, you have to use. If you have two antenna, this pattern, 3 antenna, this pattern, 4 antenna, this pattern. So like this you can extend. Okay, whatever the number of antenna that you have, the pattern can be created using binomial array. Then this is giving you the magnitude of the current. Say for example, if you have 4 antenna, for the first antenna you have to current of 1 ampere. For the second antenna you have to current of 3 ampere. For third antenna you have to use the current of 3 ampere. For fourth antenna 1 ampere. So in the previous case and all, we are not changing the magnitude of the current, but now here we are changing the magnitude of the current. So in case of binomial array, we are exciting the antennas in such a way that the current is following the binomial array pattern. Once if you excite your antenna in such a way, suppose if I am having antennas like this, if I am exciting with this current pattern, then there will not be any side lobes. Okay, there will not be any side lobes. So to eliminate the side lobe, you have to excite your antenna as per the binomial theorem. So once if you do this, side lobes completely removed. Okay, side lobes completely removed. Okay, here they have not mentioned anything about phase and all, so do not change the phase, only you vary the current like this, in this manner. Okay, then and again the current is varied as per the binomial theorem. Then finally what will be the, because I am not changing any phase, so definitely my radiation pattern will be like this, because when I am not changing the phase, my radiation pattern is perpendicular to the array axis. This is array axis. Okay, but in this case I am not having any side lobes. In previous case and all, there is a possibility that I may have a side lobes, but here I am not having any side lobes. Actually here and all you will have some side lobes, sir, but I am not mentioning here. you will have some side lobes. Again, not to make a confusion, definitely you will have some side lobes here. Similarly, for here also you will have some side lobes. Okay, like this. You can join these two, no problem. Okay, you will have side lobes like this. Okay, but in case of binomial array, you will not have side lobes. That's the main idea. In the exam, they'll ask question like this: to avoid side lobes, what has to be used? Binomial array. Binomial array avoids the side lobes. Next one is smart antenna design. Smart antenna design. With this, I will stop. Okay, with the smart antenna design, I will stop. Okay, later we'll see it on tomorrow. Smart antenna design. So in the beginning, we have started our discussion like the aim of antenna array is to radiate power in any direction that you desire and to get any gain that you want. By increasing number of conductors, you can increase the gain of the antenna, that's okay. But in any direction, because we have discussed the maximum radiation only in two directions, either along the array axis or perpendicular to the array axis. Now I want the radiation pattern in any direction I want. Say for example, if I am having a conductor like this is my array axis. Now I want to get the maximum. If I am here, I need a maximum radiation here. I want a beam like this. So in the previous case, we concentrated the beam either along the axis or exactly perpendicular to the axis of the array. Now I need a maximum radiation in a particular direction other than 0 degree and 90 degree. Then that design is called smart antenna design. That design is called smart antenna design. Same. And again, in this case, what is happening? I am not moving physically. I am not moving the antenna structures, because if I move physically, if I take upward, then I can concentrate here, but that's not my aim. Physically, I'm not moving the antennas. By electrically varying the current and phase of these antennas, I am going to change the direction of maximum radiation. So here, the aim of smart antenna design is vary the direction of maximum radiation pattern electronically. Where is the direction of maximum radiation? Vary the direction of maximum radiation electronically, radiation by varying radiation pattern electronically. Okay, electronically varying the current and excitation phase electronically without making any physical adjustment electronically. Okay, so now I assume that I need a maximum radiation at some angle, say theta is equal to 60 degree. You know, at any point of time, psi is equal to beta d cos theta plus alpha. So earlier theta is 0 or pi by 2. Now theta is 60 degree. Somebody tell me what is cos 60 degree? 1 by 2. 1 by 2. Okay, and for maximum radiation, psi has to be 0. Whatever may be the direction of maximum radiation, if you want to have a maximum radiation, the maximum of the main lobe, then psi has to be 0. Once if psi is 0, okay, psi is 0, then what is alpha? Once if psi is 0, this is beta d divided by 2, and this is alpha, then alpha is equal to minus beta d divided by 2. Then what I have to do? So once if I want to have a phase angle, sorry, maximum direction of radiation in this manner, I have to use current I here also I, but with the phase angle of alpha. Now I have computed what is alpha. That could be of any degree, say minus 10 degree, like that. That could be anything. If it is minus 10 degree, then here I will get minus 20 degree. Okay, that means what? 2 alpha, I2 alpha. What I have to use here? I3 alpha. So I have to progressively increase my phase shift. But what is that alpha that I have computed here? Once if I want to have a maximum radiation theta at 60 degree, definitely my alpha has to be like this. If my theta is of different things, say 30 degree, then you compute the corresponding value, then you fix your alpha, then you apply the phase here progressively, then you'll get the corresponding direction, maximum radiation. That's the idea of the smart antenna design. That's the idea of the smart antenna, this design. Then finally, within 5 minutes, we'll see why psi is equal to 0 always for maximum. Okay, whenever you want to have a maximum radiation, why always psi is 0? Why psi is 0 for maximum radiation? For maximum radiation direction. Okay. Again, maximum direction radiation is something similar to maxima of the major lobe. Something similar to maxima of the major lobe. Maxima of major lobe. Okay. So finally, your answer is going to be decided by array factor. The array factor value is sin n psi by 2, sin psi by 2. Okay. Few minutes before, okay, we have concluded that this array factor is maximum only when psi is equal to 0. Okay, array factor becomes maximum when psi is equal to 0. Then what happens? Okay, see, this is the when psi is equal to 0, the array factor is maximum. Then in some cases, I'm using like this. Say my numerator is maximum. Okay, because I can take, except psi, I can take some other value such that my numerator is maximum. I can also choose a psi in this manner, because instead of 0, I can also choose psi in such a way that numerator is maximum. Okay, when I choose psi in such a way that numerator is maximum, okay, that is called as maxima of the minor lobe. Okay, when I choose the numerator is maximum, okay, but not psi is equal to 0, I have to choose psi in such a manner numerator is maximum. Choose psi in such a way numerator is maximum. Then once if you choose like this, then definitely that will give you some angle. That angle is the direction of the maxima of the minor lobe. Okay, the angle. Okay, then once if you choose psi in this manner, then you will get some theta. Okay, of the minor lobe. Theta is maxima of minor lobe. You will get some angle. That angle is maxima of the minor lobe. Then if I want to have a nulls, because between the lobes, let it be major lobe or minor lobes, between the lobes, you are getting nulls. So if you want to have a nulls, okay, you choose your array factor in such a way your numerator is 0, but denominator is not 0. You choose your psi in such a way your numerator is 0, but denominator is not 0. Choose in such a way numerator is equal to 0 and then denominator not equal to 0, then very clearly 0 by something is 0. Okay, that theta gives the direction of nulls. Now you will get some angle, that is the direction of nulls. These answers. So okay, so with this I will stop. Okay, any doubts, sir?